Exploration of the mental Archons, the engineering of the invisible prison. Have you ever felt that there is an invisible force sabotaging your greatest dreams? An internal whisper that pulls you back into fear every time you try to move forward? What if I told you that this limitation is not a flaw of character, but a deliberate programming, created even before the first man walked upon the earth? At the heart of Gnosticism, we discover something disturbing. We are not only spiritual beings, we are prisoners of a psychic architecture designed by ancestral forces known as Archons. If you feel that your consciousness knows the path, but something within your own biology prevents you from following it, you are about to understand why. Before we decode this engineering of the soul and learn to domesticate these internal rulers, subscribe to the channel Myths and Psyche. Leave your like and comment below. Do you believe you are the master of your mind, or just a passenger of impulses you do not understand? The cosmic abortion and the origin of the rulers. To understand our current limitations, we need to return to the era that fragmented eternity. In the Gnostic system, the origin of human suffering does not begin with sin, but with a failure in the higher spheres. Sophia, the personification of divine wisdom, committed an imbalance by trying to create something without the harmony of her spiritual counterpart. The result was an anomalous being, powerful, yet blind. Yaldabaoth, the demiurge, with the face of a lion and the body of a serpent, he symbolizes raw power without compassion. Feeling alone in his own ignorance, he emanated 12 authorities, the Archons. These Archons are not demons in the common sense. They are rulers, architects of limitation. They govern the laws of matter, of time, and more dangerously, of our lower mind. They created the labyrinth, and then became the very walls that prevent us from seeing the pleroma, the kingdom of the original light. The construction of man as an archontic puppet. According to the texts of Nag Hammadi and the Pistis Sophia, the human being is a work of engineering. Upon perceiving a reflection of divine light over chaos, the Archons decided to capture it. They shaped the human body not out of love, but as a prison for this spark. Each Archon contributed a part of our structure. One brought desire, another anger, another fear. That is why every human being is born carrying these primitive forces. We are a mosaic of archontic impulses. Our biology is their territory. When you feel irrational anger, intense jealousy, or a desire for control, this is not your soul. It is the signature of your material creators. We are, essentially, marionettes, moved by invisible threads, installed in the limbic system and in the deep subconscious. The trap of consciousness without sensitivity. Here is an uncomfortable truth. Consciousness by itself does not liberate. The world is full of extremely conscious, intelligent, and rational people, but capable of committing atrocities. Why? Because intellect also belongs to the Archons. They master logic, strategy, and control. A person can understand everything about manipulation, power, and destruction, and still remain an archontic agent. In Gnosticism, the difference between the psychic man, mind, and the pneumatic man, spirit, is only one: empathy. Sensitivity is something the Archons cannot simulate. It is the weak point of the demiurge. Without empathy, consciousness becomes cold, calculating, predatory. True liberation demands more than knowing. It demands feeling. Domesticating the inner Archon, alchemy. Liberation does not come from direct struggle. Fighting these forces only strengthens them. The Gnostic path is domestication. These forces are the basis of our physical existence. They cannot be eliminated, only refined. The work is to recognize when an Archon is speaking through you. Fear, the Archon of fear. Vanity, the Archon of pride. To domesticate is to transform aggressiveness into creative strength, desire into spiritual aspiration, fear into wise prudence. It is when consciousness stops being a slave and takes control. Those who do not do this live as servants of themselves. The 13 repentances and the ascent of the soul. In the pistis, sophia, fallen wisdom does not escape by force, but through 13 repentances, changes of mind. Each one represents the release of a layer of archontic influence. This teaches us something essential. The path back is not to accumulate. It is to unlearn. Unlearn cruel competition, excessive attachment to matter, the need for validation. Each choice for sensitivity is a step out of chaos. Without fear or greed within you, the Archons lose where to attach. Sensitivity is the final key. Many seek knowledge as an advantage, but knowledge without empathy is just another prison. Sensitivity is invisible to the Archons. They do not understand genuine love, selfless beauty, deep compassion. This makes them blind to these frequencies. Developing sensitivity is not only moral, it is a spiritual strategy. When you live from your essence, you leave their radar. The sovereignty of the being. In the end, you do not abandon the body, you master it. The Archons cease to be jailers and become servants. The same force that limited you now begins to drive you. The true master is not cold. He is strong and sensitive at the same time. You are created by inferior forces, but you carry something superior within you. Your mission is to transcend your origin. The liberation from the mental Archons is a continuous process. It is not enough to understand. It is necessary to apply. Are you willing to face your own shadows? If this content brought clarity, do not keep it only to yourself. Subscribe to Myths and Psyche, like the video, and share it. And answer, which Archon is the most difficult for you to master today? Remember, knowledge shows the prison. Wisdom teaches how to leave it.